Good afternoon. It's McCollum on Business. I'm Stephen McCollum. For the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to get you updated on what's happening around the business world here on this Monday. Of course, over the weekend, what's happened around, tariffs, etc. We always get you updated on that on Mondays. We get the market watch, stocks we're paying attention to, plus all the local and national stories that you need to know as well. And folks, it's a busy Monday. Let's get right into it with that market watch. And here we go. Good day here on the market here on this Monday. Nothing really to complain about is, we are starting off at a point where we kind of left off at the end of last week. And, it's never a bad time when you wake up and the Dow Jones is up 113 points to 46,382. The S&P 500 is up 28 points here today to 6689. By the way, that S&P 500 is at a fresh record high as this week is beginning with that 28 points up. The Nasdaq's up 137 points to 22,770. The Russell 2K, that small cap index, up 7 points right now to 2456. And then there's Bitcoin, trading down today about 2.47% right now, 2855 down. It's back down to the 112,000 range. 112,423 for Bitcoin here today. So down off of that, heading up to that 117,000 at the end of last week. And then sell off here over the weekend. Going into today, Bitcoin down as we look at them right now. Stocks that we are paying attention to right now, well, Better Home and Finance Holding Company. It's a mortgage lender. And look at this, folks. They're up 63.71% right now. At one point, they were up over 76% here today as well. Well, a hedge fund manager came out and he put in a social media post on X. The hedge fund manager's name is Eric Jackson. He called Better Home the Shopify of mortgages, was his quote on X. He said the company is rebuilding a $15 trillion industry from scratch using artificial intelligence. So, Better Home and Finance Holding Company up 69% here today, based off of the hedge fund manager putting that post on X, calling them the Shopify of mortgages. Big move up here for that, of course, mortgage lender. And then let's look at Apple here, just a follow up here on this stock. It's been up, Friday, the iPhone 17s, other products, the new products went on to sale. Well, Apple's up 3.53% here today as well. Reports are strong demand for the iPhone 17 in that first weekend of sales. So if you look at all the reporting that's out there, well, Apple is benefiting from consumers wanting to replace aging devices. That's the position I'm in right now. I have an old 13. Ethan, my 17-year-old, has a 13 as well, and we're going to upgrade last year. We held off because of that Apple Intelligence was kind of lacking from what they sold on us. I think this might be the year we have to do it, so count us into that deal, and we're apparently not alone. Apple 3.49% up right now based off of that news. And then we're looking at a couple of different stocks here. Weight loss drug maker Melcera is the first one we're going to look at here. 61.94% up right now. An announcement came out that it would be bought by Pfizer for $4.9 billion in straight up cash. The deal's expected to close in the fourth quarter. Obviously, Melcera way up today, 61.94. Let's look at Pfizer as they are the company buying them, 4.9% billion in cash. Well, they're up 0.56% right now. They were up over 2% earlier. You see the gradual decline on Pfizer there as the day has gone on for them. And look at that. Pfizer adding to their weight loss drug category with this purchase as well for Pfizer. So good news in that weight loss side, at least in terms of Pfizer adding to their stock portfolio in their weight loss portfolio out there. And later on when we come back, we're going to look at a few companies. Anywhere Real Estate, they're the parent company of Century 21, Coldwell Banker. We're going to look at their stock. Also Compass, right? The Compass is not the bank there, but they're a brokerage giant, Compass is. And so we'll talk about those two companies in conjunction with each other. And then we'll take a look at Fox Corp as well. We have that story coming up on why we look at Fox here in just a few moments. But first, of course, you guys saw this in the news over the weekend where President Trump has signed the proclamation. He did this all on Friday that it imposes that $100,000 one-time fee on those H-1B visas. Obviously, that's going to change how foreign workers get hired within the U.S. and come over here. This $100,000 charge, it's a one-time fee. Well, and it's only for going to new H-1B appliers, basically. So if you're existing or renewing, not part of that deal. It'll take effect in the next lottery cycle. It does not apply to renewals, as I said, or current visa holders either. And those already on their H-1B visas will not be required to pay the amount when re-entering the country either. So it's just strictly for the new ones coming out of the new applications coming here. So there's some broader implications on this. So I'll give you the backstory on this signing. In addition to the fee, Trump did roll out a gold card. Well, it'll give wealthy individuals a pathway to citizenship. And then individuals looking to get a gold card, well, they'll be charged $1 million. Yes, businessmen will need to pay $2 million for that gold card also. The corporate card will let companies sponsor an employee to come over, and there will be no additional fee if the company chooses to switch the sponsorship to a different worker. But then he also announced there'll be a more premium option. Well, that's going to be known as the Trump Platinum Card. It carries a $5 million price tag, and it'll let holders of that card spend up to 270 days in the United States without being subject to taxes on non-U.S. income. Axios gave us all this reporting on Friday. So that came out, signed a proclamation at that point. Well, what does that mean for anything else? Does it mean anything for anything else is the big question. Well, it does. It kind of affects, because one country's big on the H-1B1 visas, specifically with their tech industry there. And so all of this move here by President Trump with those visas and everything, well, it appears to be affecting the India-U.S. trade talks as well here between the two countries as they're working through that deal. And there look to be a mending of that negotiation. Is it kind of rocky again coming up here? So this $100,000 fee for those new H-1B applications are going to basically mostly affect Indian people from India. Well, they make up 70% of the visas in the past for that H-1B one. So the Trump's order has rattled India's $280 billion tech services industry, threatening their business outsourcing models and even putting thousands of jobs for the Indians, specifically here in America, all at risk. Trump has upended decades of U.S. diplomacy with India by slapping that 50% tariffs on Indian exports in August. You know, that was all because of the Russia oil, right? They're buying Russian oil, and he wants them to stop doing it. As I said, last week, the tensions between the two countries started to look like they were thawing out a little bit. More meetings this week, by the way, on it. No doubt the H-1B1 $100,000 visa is going to come up in these trade talks as well. So there's a lot of question marks around the U.S. and India trade product right now, and based off of what President Trump there did on Friday. We'll see. I know one of the trade people for India is meeting with Marco Rubio today. I know there's another meeting later on in the week, and I wouldn't be shocked if that $100,000 price tag was just to put pressure on India. We'll see. I did see earlier today that India said, look, you can do whatever you want. We're not going to stop buying Russian oil, period, is what they said. So that's the sticking point here from the U.S. side, at least, moving forward. Then we have, of course, a government shutdown kind of looming right now. And over the weekend, the Senate rejected competing measures. This was on Friday afternoon. And all those competing measures are all to try to fund federal agencies for a few weeks because that new budget year begins coming up on October 1st. So by rejecting those, well, the prospects are up there for a partial government shutdown coming up on October 1st. Leaders of both parties, of course, they blame each other. No shocker there. Democrats accused Republicans of not negotiating with them to address some of their priorities on health care as part of the funding measure. Although they did know that Democrat votes would be needed to get a bill to the president's desk. And then Republicans and Democrats were making demands that would dramatically increase spending. They were not germane to the core issue of keeping agencies fully running for a short period of time while negotiations continued for a full spending package for the full year. I did see also that the Democrats were asking for money to be put back in for illegal immigrants to get some government you know funding that was taken away and that type of stuff out there. So keep our eyes open. Government continue to work as of October 1st is the big question. Yeah, it's kind of an ongoing thing 'cause they just can't pass a budget, right? It's a yearly thing here on that government shutdown. And then as a follow up on TikTok here, I told you we're going to look at Fox Corp here coming up in terms of stock we're looking at. And the reason why President Trump came out and said that several billionaires, right, including Rupert Murdoch, who of course owns Fox Corp, and his son, who's taken over Fox Corp, Lachlan, and even tech founder Michael Dell, of course, Dell Computing, well, they could be part of a deal in which the U.S. will take control of TikTok and keep it alive here in America. Trump's disclosure of the potential involvement of the Murdochs and Dell, well, it's the latest twist in the constantly moving potential deal to keep TikTok operating here in the U.S. at least. So Trump said Sunday, and we already knew this, that Oracle founder and chairman Larry Ellison, well, he was part of the same group looking to keep this TikTok alive and taking over. His involvement, we've all known that for a while. It was previously disclosed, and on Saturday, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Oracle would be responsible for the app's data and security, and then Americans will control 6 of the 7 seats for the planned board of TikTok. Those are pretty much the only details we have in this deal coming up. So keep our eyes on this. They have till December 16th now in order to get a deal, and I don't know if it can keep getting moved very much longer. And another follow-up for you here on this Monday, Cracker Barrel, right? We told you before that the owner of Steak and Shake, well, he's been doing a lot of stuff. He's an stockholder there at Cracker Barrel, but that owner is trying to pressure Cracker Barrel and the board to overhaul its leadership of the company. Of course, that owner claims that they destroyed shareholder value in their failed move of remodeling and redoing the logo and updating it out there. Well, his name is Sardar Biglari. We've told you about him before. He's the founder of Biglari Capital Corporation. They own 2.9% of all Cracker Barrel common stock, and he's leading the proxy battle to Cracker Barrel, urging shareholders to vote against the re-election of the CEO, Julie Massino, and the Director of Compensation Committee Chair, Gilbert Davila. And this is all according to a securities filing that came out end of last week. Biglari also he's the CEO of Biglari Holdings, Inc. That's the parent company that owns Steak and Shake, and then that Western Sizzlin' we've told you about here at McCollum on Business. Big Lane Capital said the board and management both betrayed the company's heritage, alienated loyal customers, and undermined investor confidence through the strategies that quickly reversed here with the remodels and the updating of the logo. The strategies only worsened existing challenges ahead of solving them, which Steak and Shake owner claims eventually led to a brand refresh that they claim was one of the country's worst brand blunders alongside Bud Light and even Jaguar. If you remember the Jaguar ads last year, I believe it was in 2024 when those came out. Steak and Shake escalated the fight against Cracker Barrel's CEO, posting on X that it had paid for a billboard emblazoned with the words, "Fire the CEO." And it was styled in the Cracker Barrel's the old logo that was the new logo that's now the old logo again. Yes, did the same logo and just said, "Fire the CEO." Billboards all around Nashville that they are putting up as well. So the proxy fight continues for Cracker Barrel. We'll have to see. He's done several proxy fights, as we told you in the past here at Cracker Barrel, but see where this goes as the Cracker Barrel problems aren't ending yet coming up here. And then If you missed out on the Crocs shoes for your dogs back in 2024 because they sold out within 24 hours, well, you'll have another chance, pet owners, to buy Crocs for your pups. Yes. Chewy released two new colorways of the shoes. Light blue and yellow are what they're coming out with. Both pairs are available now. They're $52.99 in three flexible sizes, small, medium, and large. They're made with the Eva foam for stretch and comfort on your pets. EVA foam. I don't know which one it is. The Pet Crocs also feature an adjustable strap, grippy tread bottom, and versatile holes in them to help your pet be comfortable and keep their feet cool and moving in those as well. If you missed this before, well, they're going to soon be available as a gift with purchase for new, Burke Box for there that Chewy does, and also Super Chewy subscribers, or as an add-on to a box option for existing members in the following glow-in-the-dark colors. Light blue, dark blue, yellow, orange, green, and pink are the colors that you can get in those boxes. If you don't remember this, Chewy dropped these line of pet Crocs back in October of 2024. That was on Croc Day is when they released it. The shoe sold out in about 24 hours. The Crocs did come in green and pink at that time. They were also released alongside matching clocks for their human companions at that time. So they were so successful coming out. By the way, they were $50 last year in 2024, $52.99 this year. So not a big price increase for them. But if you want your dog to look as dumb as you do walking around in Crocs, there you go, folks. Grab some pet Crocs. Available now, and they're going to sell out. If the other one sold out in 24 hours, these are going to go pretty quick also. So get on board with those now if they're still available. And when we come back here, got a few local stories for you. Waymo, City of Chandler, doing a partnership. Waymo finally has a government partnership out there. We'll tell you about that. So much more. We'll look at Anywhere Real Estate, Compass, and Fox Corp as well. Come on back, folks. McCollum on Business. And we're back here, McCollum on Business, going through this Monday edition after the weekend. Appreciate you joining us live here, Robat TV, 11 o'clock. Programming note, tomorrow we will be a little bit late, probably around noontime for the show live. We have a couple of things happening around the studio, so heads up on that. We will do a show tomorrow, probably a little bit later at noon, but of course we'll get it up on demand at Robat TV, as well as now on that free YouTube channel out there. So find us there and subscribe. The YouTube channel has the main event, of course, McCollum on Business, Pit Stop, all available there. We're going to do the Pit Stop Look Back show here later on today and get that posted. So they're here at Robat TV for your subscriptions. We see you guys out there. Our live numbers are the biggest numbers that we get here at Robat TV. And, we're just trying to get out there for the on-demand side for everybody to catch our shows. Of course, the main event is up now on YouTube. Of course, Robat TV as well. Free podcast system for that. Last week's pit stops are up as well. They'll be up later today for the Look Back show. And, of course, Look Ahead at Kansas this week comes out later in the week here for that. So appreciate you joining us. Multiple ways to find us and watch us. We thank you very much. And with that being said, let's get right back into that Market Watch. And the market's basically where it was before, right? Dow Jones up to 111 points. S&P 500 still at that fresh record high there for it. 29 points up for the S&P 500. The Nasdaq's up 140. The Russell 2K, that small cap index, up 10 points as of right now for where they are. Bitcoin still down today, 2,500 points down, 112,712 is where that's trading at today. Down from the 117 it hit on Friday, 115 on Wednesday and Thursday last week, and Bitcoin back down into that 112,000 for it here today. Stocks we're paying attention to. Anywhere Real Estate is the first one we're going to look at. This is the parent company of Century 21, Coldwell Banker as well. Well, they're up 45.33% here today as well. Why? Well, brokerage giant Compass is planning to take over Anywhere Real Estate. Competitors here in this market. It's going to be for $1.6 billion. All stock transaction here is what Compass is going to do here to purchase Anywhere Real Estate as well. The combined company is expected to have a value of about $10 billion, including that assumption of debt that's coming in from Anywhere Real Estate. Anywhere shares, of course, are up 45.69% right now. They were up over 50% earlier today. The next stock we're going to look at is Compass there, right? And they're down today, 16.81% down today with the news that they're doing that all-stock purchase there, $1.6 billion of Anywhere Real Estate happening. So 16.70% down by purchasing their competitor. Big drop here for Compass here today. And then finally, we'll do our follow-up here on Fox Corp. Yes, we told you earlier we did that show, right, of Fox and buying TikTok, going to be involved with it. Richard Murdoch and then his son Lachlan, of course. Well, Fox is up today 1.91% based off of President Trump in that Sunday interview that this company and the chief executives, they're going to be involved in that deal to save TikTok here in the UX. That news is up here on Fox Corp, 1.89% here off of that news today for them. So just a couple updates here in stocks to look at as we are all ready to go here on this Monday. And we got some local stories here that you need to know as well. And let's go down to the Chandler area. The city of Chandler recently added Waymo, those self-driving automated cars with nobody in the front seat. Well, they're a new option for public transit users. The partnership with Waymo and technology company Via helped bring the program to fruition, and they address capacity for transportation services. The city already uses a transit service system. That's what they call it as Chandler Flex is what it's known as. That gives people the ability to request a ride-sharing vehicle. Via's software powers Chandler Flex and gets cars where they needed to go. A person using that Chandler Flex app is now offered the opportunity to book a trip with Waymo in those self-driving cars only when there's times of high demand. So it gives them another option that hopefully isn't as expensive and high demand. Chandler City Transportation Director came out and said demand for transportation, well, it becomes heavy, obviously, in the afternoon hours due to people coming out from school, work, appointments. Waymo serves as an overflow provider to meet the needs of the citizens. And it's the first time Waymo signed a deal with a municipality also in terms of working with a municipality's services out there for them. So Chandler Flex operates weekdays, 5:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. And now adding Waymo and those high pressure to kind of help hopefully drive down those costs for people and not get caught in that surge pricing. So if you're in that Chandler area, use Chandler Flex. New option for you coming up as well. And we talk a lot about the utilities. Us as homeowners and us as citizens pay the price with the demand coming in on these data centers and everything. Well, the chair of the Arizona Corporation Commission has come out and said that they are looking and considering to making a specific utility rate for those data centers. Yeah, they should pay more and leave us citizens alone. The implementation of those possible rate changes, well, it's going to take a while to get done. Still a ways off. Corporation Commissioner Kevin Thompson, well, he says the possibility for new charges to data center electricity use, it'll come through the hearing process of APS and Tucson Electric Power rate cases. Obviously, APS looking for that 14% increase. Coming up here, well, Thompson says, the chair of the Corporation Commission, says that it could take about 18 months before the commission could implement those rates proposed by the utility companies. The commission also cited a report from the real estate company JLL. Well, that report says that Phoenix ranks second in the country for data center development. APS's parent company, we told you here that they said earlier this year that data centers and large industrial users, they caused the majority of utility demand growth in 2024. And that's why you're getting a 14% increase on APS, or they're asking for one. They're asking for you as a homeowner to pay for these data centers. So, yeah, do a separate one for them where they pay for their stuff separately. I know Mesa's done that with water, with their data centers out there. There's different numbers in terms of quantity and pricing. You gotta fix it. You gotta stop having consumers pricing go up because of these big businesses out there. We know that the employment rate came out and report came out in terms of the national scale of stuff. Well, that August employment report does reflect the labor market here in Arizona, and it shows resilience here in Arizona. One economist says the state's job market is in a good spot heading into the final months of 2025. So Arizona's specifically unemployment rate had held steady from July to August. There were job gains in 8 of the 12 job sectors here in Arizona. Healthcare, social assistance, that job category, professional and business services, construction, financial activities, and other services recorded stronger than usual gains. And basically, or not just huge gains, but also smaller than expected losses in those specific things. That obviously helped to offset the divisions and the areas that did have big losses in there. Those weak areas, right? Those loss areas included government and manufacturing divisions, huge losses for them. Not a shocker in government at all, not a shocker in manufacturing with everything happening here in the market right now as well. The state did gain more than 38,000 jobs since August of 2024. The state's unemployment rate actually rose 4.1%, which is lower than the national rate of 4.3% here in August also. So, they don't break out the state's numbers. Some economists have to go through and find the proper numbers to do so and that type of things. And so that is out there now. And Arizona as a whole, a little bit better off than elsewhere in the country, but still a tough job market out there, folks. We did that story for you guys, I believe, on Friday of last week. And appreciate you joining us here on this Monday McCollum on Business. Tomorrow, of course, we got some reporting coming out later on this week. But for the most part, we'll just see where the market goes in a relaxing week after that Fed rate cut, quarter point last week, and see what happens with tariffs. More news on the U.S.-India trade barriers as those meetings continue. That all affects the stock market out there. But overall, here on this Monday and end of last week, the market's really happy on where we stand and where we're headed. So we'll see where it is on Tuesday. Come back and join us again tomorrow. Just heads up, we will be a little bit late, probably closer to noon as when we will go live. We'll get on demand right after that. We appreciate you if you found us here at the YouTube channel, or of course if you found us here at Robat TV and you catch us on demand or anything with where we are. Appreciate it very much. Pit stop coming up later on in the day. The main event's already up. What a busy Monday, folks. Appreciate you joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.